and see where we have now reached. We have been discussing since since months, the story of Golden Rock. So Vasistha ji was narrating a beautiful story to Lord Rama by the help of which story he was giving all the secrets analytically with all the causes, how it is about the world, our creation, what we see with names and forms as our real world, that is negated completely in philosophy, and a man of discrimination only can understand how all these names and forms which are visible to us and with whom we are dealing with, all this relative world, it is not at all there. It is only imaginary and changeable. Nothing is really there. But yet, something is there. Something is there which is not visible, not knowable to the common, ordinary, worldly man. One who investigates, one who tries to understand the secrets of nature and analyzes it by the help of scriptures or wise words of great saints and sages. Only for him it is possible to see how these names and forms are not reality. But reality is hidden by it. It is covered up, as it were, by these visible names and forms. To clarify this point, Vasistha ji started telling a beautiful story on the golden rock to Lord Rama. He starts, once Vasistha ji, in order to find some lonely, solitary place to sit calmly and meditate, he was roaming in the sky. Everywhere he found the whole sky was full of noise, and the sky was full of noise and commotion. Everywhere something is going on. The sky is not really empty, as we see. For the people who have got very subtle vision, analytical and discriminative eyes, they see these subtle phenomena which is always going on in this subtler worlds which are not visible to common people. He was searching for a lonely place, and somewhere in the corner of the sky he found little less noise. So he chose some place, and there he built a beautiful hut by his yogic mental power. Whatever this shows, whatever one wishes, it takes a form. Vasistha ji, because he is a great saint and great yogi, he is the direct mental child of Lord Brahma, the creator. So he has all these visions and capabilities to do anything and everything. He could roam about in the sky in subtle form, and somewhere he saw some solitary place. Whatever we think, it has to manifest. That means it has to take a shape, a form which can be perceived by the senses. It is. And that's how our all these names and forms which we know as our relative world around us, all these are subject to perception because it has been thought over since long, long time before. Continuously we are thinking of this, and so it has taken a form and has a name which we can perceive by gross senses. But really, this gross name and form, they are the consequence of only subtlemost thoughts, imaginations, and those imaginary thoughts, when went on repeating again and again for ages, for long time, the consequence we see this relative world. It is not really so. To explain this point, world is not there. The truth is hidden up by this so-called our relative world with names and forms, which are subject to change, subject to decay. But inside it, the truth is hidden, which is never absent by any condition. It is ever present, which is not visible to us. That is how Vasistha tried to explain the story of golden rock. Now, Vasistha made a beautiful hut and sat inside to meditate. This is possible. Whatever one thinks, it fructifies, means it manifests in some name and form. May it be subtle, may it be gross, but it has to manifest. So Vasistha made that hut, and in the sky it is possible. And he sat inside for a pretty long time in samadhi. After that, when he comes down to the mental level, he he heard some sound from somewhere. Some sound is there. And it appeared to be some sound of some ladies. So, first of all, he thought, let anybody shout or do anything, what does it matter to me? But then he decided, no, some lady is making some noise. It seems she is in need of some help. So it is my duty to help if I can. So he started going towards this sound where from it was coming. And though he went to that side, that direction, he reached there, but nobody was visible, but the sound was heard. So he wanted to see the person who was making sound. So he asked, who are you, and what for you are making this sound? What do you need? Why don't you appear in a form? Then he could see a celestial lady. She was praising with Vedic mantras to Brahma, to our Vasistha ji, asking for some help. So Vasistha ji asked her, what do you want? What kind of help? So the lady said, I have come from a distance, and I am the Saraswati, means the creative power of that creation, and I am in distress, I am in need of some help. Can you help me? My husband, who is my father also, who has created me, but I am his daughter, yet I am his wife also. That means I am created by him, and I was always engaged in my duty. But now the time has come. Our Brahma, the father or husband, as you take, he has now made up his mind to dissolve the whole creation, and so I am helpless. I have no work, and I am being tortured because I have no work. So if you can come with me to our world, and if you can please make my father, my husband, if you can make him agree, he should not withdraw this creation. It may go on for a little more time. So can you help me? Vasistha was curious to know all this, where from she is and how there is some Brahma So he wanted to go. He agreed to go, and both of them, they went to some far off corner of the sky where they could see some golden rock. And the Saraswati was telling, this is my creation, my Brahmand. But our Vasistha could not see anything. He said, I am not able to see anything in it. It is a solid rock. And how are you claiming there is a world inside it? So, the celestial lady explained to Vasistha, which is a point for us also to understand how, what, in what way we are able to see this world. Our sight is so gross, our eyes, our vision is so narrow and so faulty, so incapable of seeing the reality. What we see, it is just some changeful, gross phenomena, which is not the reality. So the lady explained to Vasistha, my dear, you can see that creation inside that rock only when you think in that way. When your thoughts will coincide with the creation there, then only you can see. That means the point is, we always discuss, there is a relationship only between the somewhat similar objects. What we see it gross, and our personality is so gross, and our visibility also so gross. So we can relate with gross names and forms. We cannot see the subtler names and forms which are not visible to us. We are unable to see it because our situation, our personality is like that. Yogis, they have the power to see every way they can. They wish to see the gross, the subtlemost, everything they can. They have the power to relate with subtlemost realms and subtlemost beings, and also with all these gross beings and gross names and forms. Anyway, anything they can do, that is the point, and which is not possible for the ordinary, ignorant, mundane beings. So when Saraswati explained everything to Vasistha, Vasistha could understand, and Saraswati asked him to sit in meditation and come out from the body, physical body, and have the subtle body, then only he can see those subtler world. And this gross body of Vasistha, of course, so subtle for us because he was able to move around in the sky. That will not be so gross as ours. It is so subtle. But yet, that is grosser for the creation there inside the rock what he saw. So he came out of that gross body which was of Vasistha, and yet he could not see anything in that rock inside. So our Saraswati tried to tune the mental conditions of subtle body of Vasistha to see the beings inside the rock. Just as we see our different channels in the TV, adjusting the frequencies. When we adjust the frequencies, then we see whatever we want to see. Similarly, though Vasistha had a subtle body, yet it was not tuned to see that type of names and forms in that creation. So our Saraswati entered into the mind of Vasistha and tuned it so that he can see the universe there. And after that, Saraswati led him to the to inside the rock, and Vasistha could see everything. It was a beautiful world with all these names and forms, different realms of existence, and all those gods and grass world also. Everything he was able to see, and he had to pass some time with Saraswati to enter into that rock and move to Brahmalok, where Brahma abides. That is also a creation like us, and different realms are there. So Brahmalok is the subtlemost realm where Brahma abides. That is called Satyalok or Brahmalok. So both of them went there, and when Brahmaji knew Vasistha from other world has come with Saraswati, he welcomed him, he entertained him with asana and everything, and asked him for the purpose, what purpose he has come, in what way I can help you. So Vasistha told the same thing what Saraswati requested him to do. Vasistha when asked, "Oh great Brahma, why are you dissolving your creation?" Our Saraswati is bewildered what to do, what not to do. She is he is in depression. She has no work now. Why can't you continue this creation for a little more longer time? then our Brahmaji of that world tells Vasistha, my dear Vasistha, you are such a wise man, you know everything. Everything has its plan before, pre-plan. And now the time A has come. Now nothing can be done. It has to be dissolved. So I cannot do anything, you know. And your request is meaningless. And on the other hand, I request you to get out from this creation, or else you are also going to be going to die with this dissolution of this creation. Please get out, or else you are not going to exist. So Vasistha understood it and came out of that world. This is simply some story, but this story has all the secrets of all the rules and regulations of all the methods of creation, existence, and dissolution of all these, and different kinds of different worlds. While going, Vasistha, while going to meet that sound, in the meanwhile, he narrated Ramji, he could see innumerable worlds of different types, somewhere somewhat equal, somewhere everything is totally different from each other. Somewhere he saw some creations just as ours with 5 elements. Somewhere there was 2, 3 or 1 element, and somewhere some creation he could see where no elements were there at all. Can you imagine how it will be? It is beyond our imagination even. And Vasistha could see all those. And when Ram asked him, how could you see all those? And in what time, how could you went to all those different creations within that small period? And how could you see? Where did you see? So Vasistha explained everything. Everything is possible. When we have all-round vision, at a time, in one glance, you can see so many things at a time, at present, in a particular time. That also we have discussed very clearly how it is possible. Just as we see the things from a distance, from a height. When we fly in the sky, we go somewhere by plane, from plane up above the our, what we can call, our below, all these. From that height we see at least not less than 100 kilometers at a time. In one glance we can see. Our angle of vision becomes wide, and we see, suppose below here some car is moving, and it can see only little behind and little ahead. That is future for the car driver and little past for the car driver. Both he can see when he wants to see. But person high above can see 50 kilometers ahead of that car driver and 50 kilometers behind also. 100 kilometers he sees at present in one glance, which is future and past for the car driver. So, similarly, when we go to the highest level to see this world, we can see the whole earth at a glance, and that is not possible for the people who are on it. So in that way, when your angle of vision widens, you can see many things at a time which is not possible in common level. So that is how Vasistha's mind, a yogi's mind, which is so subtle, he could see so many worlds at a time, and he could see all the differences at a time. And he narrated everything to Ramji. That is how it is possible. And it was most interesting how different kinds of worlds are there. And in the end, he enters into that rock. From outside it is a golden rock, and inside there is a beautiful world. And when he came out, he saw the dissolution of that creation that he was narrating to Lord Rama. And by the way, Lord Ram went on asking some questions which are, of course, common to ordinary beings. So Ramji asked, how is that creation, how it was created by the Brahma, and how the creation method, and how is the dissolution method, how it was dissolving, why? All these questions, one after another, Vasistha was explaining to Ram. So by the way, Ramji asked, what is the condition of Lord Creator, how he creates? So Vasistha gives the method of creation. All the creations are in that way, but they are different from each other because of some reason. You see, before all these creations, there was, there is, there will be something which we cannot think even, which is beyond our thoughts or speech. Even then, our discriminative mind or analytical mind, subtle, most refined, pure mind can guess something. So that way, Vasistha explained, in the very beginning there was something. Why? Because something cannot come out of nothing. There was something out of this, out of which all these have come out. Our creation or other creations, we cannot deny all these stars and planets and whatever we see, all these are there. So where from, what is the cause of all them? And where from they have been originated? What is their starting point? Where was it? So naturally, we have to say something was there, which will be always there, which will be the absolute one cause for all these effects. That means all these creations. Because when we see the relative world, dualistic world, we see there will be some effect which will have certainly a cause. Without a cause, there will not be any effect. And cause and effect, it goes on in a cycle. The cause becomes effect. The effect becomes cause for the another effect. In that way it goes on. Without cause there cannot be any effect. So if at all we see all these gross worlds, there should be some cause, and which was in the very beginning, out of which all these creations, all these universes have been originated. So that will be one only. If there will be many, then again question comes, what is the cause of very beginning effect, starting effect? What will be the cause? So in that way we have to go to the primordial, the starting cause, which will be only one, which has no cause before. In one we cannot expect any cause or any effect. When it starts becoming two, then only one becomes the cause for the other. So naturally we have to agree there will be something which is always one without a second, which is cause for all the causes. So in that way, it will be existing forever and eternally. So that is what we say, the absolute existence, which is aware of itself. So it is knowledge of itself, and it is ever there. So it is the contentment of being, of knowing its being. So that we say in the words Sat, existence, chit, awareness, knowledge of existence, and bliss, the contentment, satisfaction of the knowledge of existence. So this is how Sat Chit Anand was there in the very beginning, and there was nothing other than that, and there is nothing other than that at present also. So if at all we see all these creations, how it is visible, where from, how it is created and how it has come to such state of existence which we deal with. So Vasistha explains, in the very beginning, in that absolute consciousness, as if we see our own resemblance, our own reflection in the mirror, which is not different from us, also which is not exactly equal to us. It is similar with the absolute perfection which is ever present. It will be so pure, its reflection is reflected within it, and that may be imagined as all these creations. In the very beginning, that one point, I am, that has to be there. And that I, one experience of I-ness, that becomes the cause for all minus, means whatever goes on multiplying after that I. So there was one subtlemost desire or identity, I am. So that is the ego or the Chita Anu, we say, the atom of absolute consciousness which manifested in very subtlemost knowledge form or light form, which was the first ego, I, and then it started multiplying, and all those multiplications are because of repetition again and again. Those ideas or thoughts, I, and all those multiplication of I becomes my and starts relatively multiplying and relating with each other, and so the creations start. And the very beginning, that will be subtler than the subtlemost. That is how we have named it Chida Anu, the atom of consciousness, which is aware of itself. And that starts multiplying. That's how the Vedas say, Ekoham Bahusyama. One I am, let me be many. Just as we see our own self, our own personality as a body with a name, we see ourselves in different parts, different limbs of the body in many forms, many limited forms. That is what we know as the limbs of the body. And we cannot see the whole total body at a time in any point. If at all our identity is there, it is one as well as many. In that way, all these many creations are superimposed or imagined on only one desire, that I. In this way, all these creations are possible, and the subtlemost atom, even when it is repeatedly multiplying, then it slowly, in the course of time, it becomes gross. And the subtle form of it is hidden by the gross form. This is how the truth we don't see, but the names and forms we see in this world and also in the other worlds. In many different ways, everything is different from each other, but yet they are one in the beginning. And that's how the yogis who can reach that point, absolute I, then they can see innumerable worlds, gross as well as subtle, at a glance, because they become the highest or the subtlemost. That's how they can see. And Vasistha went on explaining to Ram how the creation there inside that rock slowly getting dissolved. That also Ramji wanted to hear. And while explaining all this, Ramji asked about the body of the creator Brahma. What will be the condition or the form of body of the creator? So Vasistha says, with all the region, the body of not only the creator, but of everyone. Body will be a totality which will have a center also. So, as Ramji asked Brahmaji if his body is whole total creation, as Vasistha narrated, he went on imagining, going on thinking, and all these thoughts were in him, and it was getting some form. And so, whatever was formed, it is called the creation, and that is within the body of Brahma. So, Brahma creates by thought process only. Whatever he thinks, it takes a name and form. And all those are in the mind of Brahma. So all these are Brahma's body only, imaginary body. The whole total creation is the imaginary body of the Creator. And yet, how he could abide in a subtlemost central point. So, Vasistha explains, though the body of Brahma is whole universe, yet he abides in the center, which is called Brahmalok, which is subtlemost, just as circle, the the circle has a center, everything has a center around which everything goes on. Similarly, this creation also, though it is ever-changing phenomena, ever circulating, it goes on in a cycle around the center, which is subtlemost. So the body is, though it is gross, yet it is subtlemost. So Brahma can abide in both ways. And Vasistha gave the example of our body also. Just as we have a body, gross body, we have the form of it, and whole body means we have so many parts of the body. And when we say I means the whole totality, which is experienced by everyone as a totality, and yet the I is never seen in all these parts, and I remains as a center of all this total body inside it. So without the center there cannot be any circle. This is how we have our ego, mind, intellect, everything, and we have motion, working capacity. That means action and reaction, and we have also perception. We see inside, outside by our senses in different 5 ways, by 5 senses. We see outer, all these gross objects of different types, and inside also we feel everything. So inside and outside, both together is our personality, and so also is the personality of Brahma, which is known as the creation. It is possible, and it is like this. The Creator is present, ever present in all these creatures in individual form. So, outwardly, as a total body, he is one. Inwardly, in different ways, when it communicates with different parts, so inside the whole totality, all the individualities are there, which are many. In a total form, it is one. And in individual identities, it is many. And see, both way we have to see, the whole totality is seen outwardly. And the center is there around which many individualities will be there. That's how the whole total one we can see. And just opposite of it also is seen. Outwardly we have divisions, we have multiplicity. Outwardly we see different parts grossly, and inside only one center. Both way it is there. When you see the whole total being, it is one. And inside the one totality, there will be individuality, just as a village. Village will be one, but village members will be many within the village. They are not outside the village. And also the totality when is seen partially, then outside the total being we see all these parts, then inside will be subtle center. So in this way, all these creations are existing in the body of the Creator, and he saw the dissolution of that creation. He was narrating to Ramji the method of dissolution as he saw. If you see the method of creation, the process, how the creation is visible. So we start from different ways to come to this real, our visible world. If we take the elements, then in the very beginning, that one atom which is known as Chit Anu, the subtlemost I, which is the center of everything, which wants to manifest, means to see himself, so that will be the beginning, and that will be the creator. So it becomes many. How it becomes in different ways we see it. If we see his ego, then he, in the very beginning, he says, I am. I am means the great one. The great one. We call it Virat. And he sees himself in the form of space and luminosity, means in the form of knowledge or the light, effulgence. So it felt by itself, I am the self-effulgent, all-pervading, the Great One. That is how Virat is known. or Hiranyagarbha is known. And from there, the subtlemost first element, we call it the space or sky. Before that, it thought of it, so it will be the ideal sky. And before that, it experienced, I am this, so that will be the consciousness sky. And slowly this first element sky took a shape which will be the most subtle, and from there starts all the gross parts, elements, and from sky there will be moving sky, which is known as air, which will be the cause for all the movement, so it is energy also, and movement also, and then the fire, then water and earth. In the process of dissolution also, the same thing will go in the same way back to the source. So that is what Vasistha was explaining, how the dissolution started, the destruction was seen, the earth was getting it was dissolving as it were, and Vasistha saw the 12 sons. They were, at a time, they were seen in the different directions, and it was burning the whole creation. Means the earth and water, everything. So all the beings were dissolved, means they were not to be seen again. You can think in this way, and then there will be destroying air, which will subside the fire created by all these different sons, and slowly everything in the same way back to the source they will go. And this is what Vasistha is explaining to Rama. And we were discussing this, how this creation was getting dissolved and how it happened. महान पुरुष तो नष्ट होते हुए भी आनंद प्रदान करते हैं, किसी को दुख नहीं देते हैं। हे श्री रामचंद्र जी, देखिए ना, स्वयं दग्ध होने पर भी वह चंदन जीवन धारण कर रहे प्राणियों के आनंद के लिए ही ज्यों का त्यों स्थित रहा। Vasistha is telling, oh Ram, see, though this creation gets dissolved, that means it gets crossed, as it were, but yet it it makes everybody happy. It gives pleasure to everyone. Everyone means to the Creator. And he gives the example of sandal paste, how the sandal wood gets crushed and it gives fragrance and beauty and pleasure to the person who uses it. Similarly, when this creation is getting destroyed, it gives pleasure to someone. उत्तम वस्तु कभी भी अवस्तुता को यानी निकृष्टता को नहीं प्राप्त होती. देखिए ना, प्रलयकालीन अग्नि से जल रहा भी सोना सर्वथा नाश को नहीं प्राप्त हुआ. We have the idea, it is said everywhere, the creation was, in the beginning it was Hiranyagarbha, means it was made up of only gold, golden rays. That's why Vasistha named this story to be story of golden rock. It is not somewhere else. It is our own creation which is told in this way. So Vasistha says, the gold never gets destroyed when it is melted in the fire. On the other hand, it gives more and more light, it glitters. As much it is put in the fire, so much it glitters more and more. So it shows in the end all these creation will merge in the Hiranyagarbha. This is the idea. जो वस्तु कभी नष्ट नहीं होती वही इस जगत में सार है. उसी की प्रशंसा करनी चाहिए. इस अभिप्राय से कहते हैं कि द्वे हेमनाभसी, हेमनाभसी, उस प्रलयकालीन अग्नि में सुवर्ण और आकाश, सुवर्ण और आकाश ये दो नष्ट नहीं हुए. क्या समझे? When the whole creation was getting dissolved, everything was destroyed. Everything was dissolved into nothing. But the gold and the sky, both were not burnt by the fire. That means the golden sky again. Golden sky means golden rock. Rock is nothing but an idea of whole totality which is solid. Solidity means empty, and empty means having all the ideas within it. Those ideas are different names and forms. So in the beginning it was, and in the end also it will be.
When you go to sleep, it's also disillusion.
Yes. What remains in the end? Only I, which was not aware of it, that remains in the deep sleep. I remains, but that I is never aware of itself. It is unaware. उस प्रलय कालीन अग्नि में सुवर्ण और आकाश ये दो ही नष्ट नहीं हुए. The gold and the sky, these two were not destroyed, others everything were destroyed. उन्हीं दोनों का शरीर प्रशंसनीय है क्योंकि सबका नाश हो जाने पर भी उनका नाश नहीं हुआ. They are praiseworthy, these two, gold and the sky, because they were not destroyed even though everything was destroyed. आकाश तो विभु यानी व्यापक होने से अविनाशी है ही. Sky means it is limitless. Limitlessness or infiniteness, infinity is known as sky. So it cannot be destroyed. And gold is not destroyed. That's how gold is so costly. जी. And gold also is used in many important cases, medicines and bombs, atom bombs and other many important, you see, important things. Gold is always used and it never gets destroyed. That is the whole thing.
Brahma and his Shakti.
हाँ, उन्हीं दोनों का शरीर प्रशंसनीय है. आकाश तो विभु, विभु मतलब जो व्यापक है, व्यापक को विभु कहते हैं. So it is infinite, it is all pervading the sky. That's how it cannot be destroyed. और सुवर्ण, और इसीलिए for this reason the golden womb, first of all it thinks of I am the sky, and that is first he thought of the golden womb, and then he feels I am the sky, all pervading sky. And then he goes on thinking of different names and forms. So all these different names and forms, they will be within the sky. So his body is sky. So whatever is there, it is within his body. That we should not forget. We are inside the body of Creator. Understood? So what are you? All the germs. Just like we have also the same process, same method. We have so many beings within us. Every RBC is a being. Every WBC also is a being. And there are so many types of beings inside us.
The sky is memory.
Huh?
Sky is memory.
Sky, you can say. Anything you can say. because it holds everything within it. तो सुवर्ण दोष रहित होने से यानी दोषों से निचोड़ कर शोधित रूप होने से अक्षय है। इसीलिए हे श्री राम जी, रज और तम से निचोड़ कर, रज और तम से निचोड़ कर निकाले गए, यानी जिसमें रज और तम बिल्कुल नहीं है, ऐसे शुद्ध एक सत्व को ही ब्रह्म सुख की अभिव्यक्ति होने से मैं सब सुखों का सार समझता हूँ। मैं रज अथवा तम को सुखों का सार नहीं समझता। वशिष्ठ जी says the three qualities which are sattva, rajas, tamas, which are the cause for the creation from different angles. So, tamas is the most, what we can say, tamas is darkness or ignorance or laziness, etc. In this way we can imagine what is tamas. And rajas is most restlessness. Tamas is thought over, it will be black or dark, or differently, it is ignorance. And rajas will be red because it is always active, just like fire. It burns everything, means always it is active, restlessness. And when these two are squeezed, the essence of these two qualities is known as sattva, which is effulgent itself, and steadiness. It is not laziness but steadiness. Laziness also gives you steadiness, but it is awareness in steadiness. That's how sattva is called light, and golden light also. That is known as, when it is activated, it is known as the Mahamaya.
So rajas and tamas are opposites.
Of course, tamas is restless, rajas is restlessness. That means this changing phenomena, that is rajas. And when it stops, everything stops, then that will be tamas. वशिष्ठ जी कहते हैं कि मैं तो ये सत्व को ही सुख मानता हूँ। मेघ रूपी पर्वतों को जलाने वाला महाधूम की ज्वाला सहित प्रलय अग्नि रूपी बारिद इधर उधर चल रहे उच्च जंगलों को, जंगल की तरह आकाश में स्फुरित होता हुआ बिखरे हुए अंगारों की वृष्टि करने वाला हो गया। Now he is explaining all these, how he observed the process of dissolution. All the mountains, they were burnt up because of those 12 suns. And as if it was crossed into coal. सभी तरह की ज्वालों के बिल्कुल सूख जाने के कारण, यानी संस्कार मात्र भी अवशेष न रह जाने के कारण स्मृति के अभाव से अत्यंत ही दुखी, अतः शून्य स्वरूप विशाल शरीरधारी अंडज आदि 4 तरह के जीवों का तथा सर्वथा शुष्क हो जाने से आकाश के वृक्ष के पत्तों के समान पात्र स्वरूप प्रलयाग्नि की ज्वाला से दग्ध हुए जल सहित मेघों का, हे श्री रामचंद्र जी, ज्ञानाग्नि से दग्ध हुए तत्वज्ञानी के दोषों की तरह कहीं भस्म भी न दिखाई पड़ा. It's just explaining how everything is getting destroyed with a flowery language. Now we are discussing about those destruction by all these 12 suns and the 3 suns in the center, which was known as Maharudra, the greatest terror, and which was destroying everything. जब तक उल्लसित हुई वह प्रलयाग्नि कैलाश पर्वत को न लांघ सकी, इतने में ही कल्पांत के लिए कुपित हुए रुद्र भगवान ने अपनी नेत्रोग्नि से उस कैलाश को जला दिया. अच्छा, all the 12 suns, they could not burn the Mount Kailash, but Lord Shiva, he, out of his third eye, he burnt up the Kailash also, Kailash mountain. नेत्राग्नि से उस कैलाश को जला दिया. उस दाह का भी वर्णन करते हैं. दाह से तड़पते हुए वृक्षों के तथा महाशिलाओं के चट शब्दों वाले उस कैलाश पर्वत के नीचे के सभी पर्वत लकुटों तथा पत्थर के ढेलों के समूह से मानो युद्ध करने लगे, युद्ध करते हुए के समान प्रतीत होने लगे. और सुनिए, ये सभी पर्वत ज्वालाओं के घन घटाओं से अवतंस सहित चंचल अग्र शिखरों वाले होते हुए आकाश में विकसित हो रहे महाकमलों के अनेक जंगल जैसे हो गया. Everything was getting destroyed was in the sky. कभी तो सृष्टि अवश्य रही ही होगी. इस प्रकार सृष्टि स्मरणीय दशा को प्राप्त हो गई. मूर्खों को जगत की असारता का स्मरण दिलाते हुए कल्पांत प्रत्यक्ष आ गया. This dissolution took place only to teach the ignorant persons that nothing is eternal. This is what he says. It was a lesson for the ignorant persons. See, everything is going to be destroyed one day or other. ताप और उपताप में परम यानी सबसे बढ़े चढ़े तथा दूसरों के मारने में तत्पर प्रलय काल के पवनों ने संपूर्ण भुवनों का ससृंग आदि असद्रूप पदार्थों की तरह सर्वथा अत्यंताभाव कर दिया. This fire of dissolution, it destroyed everything which remained as only a memory, nothing else. People will think, oh, something was there. Everything became object of memory only, means everything was destroyed. उस प्रलय के प्रवृत्त होने पर वज्रपातों से प्राणियों के अंगों को पीड़ित करने वाले तथा प्रकाशमान अग्नि के उल्लुकों से संयुक्त होने के कारण गुल्म मंडलों के सदृश शोभायमान प्रलय समय के पवन देवताओं की पंक्तियों को विदलित करते हुए अग्नि के बीच से निकलकर सारी दिशाओं को चाटते हुए से बहने लगा. Then from inside that fire, dissolving fire, the wind was generated, and it was so terrific. Slowly it also started destroying the fire from every direction.
All were dying or only ignorant were dying?
Huh?
Everybody was dying or ignorant was dying?
Everything was getting destroyed. Not everybody, everything. That means earth, water and fire, then air comes to wipe out the fire also.
Drashta kaun hai?
Drashta? Drashta was our Vasistha from outside. From outside the creation. If you can get out of this, then you can see it perfectly. Just as we are sitting in the room, we don't know all about this building, how it looks from different angles. When you go to much high up, where from you can see all the sides at a glance, then only you can know how it is, what it is. all-round vision is possible out of it. It is not inside it. So Vasistha had come away from that rock and he was observing all these dissolutions from outside the creation. तो वो करें चंचल ज्वाला ज्वाला प्रलय ज्वाला पल्लवों से तड़कते तड़कते हुए अग्निमय वृक्षों के वनों में उत्पन्न भस्म सहित उष्णता से आकाश को व्याप्त करने वाले भ्रमण करते हुए उल्मुकों के अभिघात से निकल रहे अंगार सहित पीली ज्वालाओं से युक्त कज्जल रूप से गिर रही तथा पावक की श्रृंग प्राय शिखा के मध्य में विलास करते हुई कज्जल युक्त ज्वालाओं की पंक्तियों से श्याम वर्ण एवं संपूर्ण जगत में अग्नियों को प्रकाशित करने से स्तुति योग्य वेग वाले पवन बड़े वेग से बहने लगा. That all those fire because of those suns was destroying everything, and slowly the terrific wind was after that wind was destroying all these fires. Slowly the fire was wiped out. इसी प्रकार in this way the dissolution of this creation is explained to Ram by Lord Vasistha ji. The chapter ends, and in the next chapter tomorrow we shall see the 76th chapter. पश्चिम दिशा में ऊपर के भाग में पुष्करावर्त प्रलय मेघ का उदय तथा आग्नेय दिशा में अग्नि का उपसंहार, यह वर्णन. Tomorrow we shall see again how the clouds of क्या कहेंगे प्रलय काल का बादल, how can you say the destructive terrific clouds, they will start raining. In this chapter प्रलय मेघ का उदय होना, and we shall see how this fire will subside and there will be terrific rains.
Swamiji, again rain, water first evaporated, then fire, air, then again water. What do you want? The show
अभी प्रलय चल रहा है भाई. So tomorrow we shall see further.
You are saying that if there is fire in this ashram, we should not do anything. We should go out and see from Ganeshpur. Say this.
हाँ हाँ
360-degree vision.
जी, वैसे ही मैं क्या था जब बाढ़ आई थी ना इधर, इसके ऊपर भी पानी आया था. गंगा जी का बाढ़। और मैं अंदर से बाढ़ को नहीं देखा, मैं जा करके रोड के ऊपर से बाढ़ का सुंदर दृश्य देखा था। मेरे कुटिया बहते हुए, रंग रंगीले कपड़े और वो सब चीज़ें सब एक एक हो करके बाहर निकल करके वो तरंगों के ऐसे कैसे डांस करते हुए यात्रा जा रहे थे, उसका मौज मैं देखा था बाहर से, अंदर से नहीं, बाढ़ के अंदर नहीं। तो ब्रह्मा जी भी ऐसे नहीं, वशिष्ठ जी भी ऐसे देख रहे हैं।
स्वामी जी, आपको भी वार्निंग पहले मिल गई थी, निकल जाओ वरना चलेंगे वाले, जैसे
मेरे को सब बोल रहे थे, अरे आ जाओ सांझ जी। मैं नहीं निकला। मैं सोचा अरे बाढ़ तो मैं गंगा जी में बहुत देखा हूँ, तो थोड़ा 7-8 फुट पानी आ जाएगा तो तब तक देखूंगा, तब तक थोड़ा सा कुटिया के ऊपर चढ़ जाऊंगा तो कुछ नहीं होगा। लेकिन जब मैं उधर उधर था मेरा कुटिया, तो बरंडा में बैठ के मैं देख रहा था, लोग गांव से चिल्ला रहे हैं, स्वामी जी आ जाओ नहीं तो मरोगे। मैं किसी का आवाज़ सुना नहीं, देख रहा था, बरंडा में बैठ के देख रहा था, शाम हो रहा था। जब उस मोड़ पर गंगा जी दिखाई दिया मैं कुटिया से, अरे वो दृश्य देखने से गंगा जी का क्या रूप है। वो माँ तो है, माँ तो दूध भी पिलाती हैं और टट्टी भी साफ करेगी, सब कुछ करती। और जब रुद्र रूप लेती ही माँ, तो फिर क्या रूप होता है माँ का, वो बच्चा जानता है। 2 थप्पड़ मरेंगे तब फिर रोते फिरेगी बच्चा। तो वो रूप को मैं देखा, इतना ऊंचा आ रहा है, अलग अलग स्तर में, जैसे कोई मान लो कोई एक बेताल या कोई भूत जीभ को लहलाते हुए निगलने के लिए कोई भाग करके आ रहा है जैसे। और रंग रंगीला, वो इतना सब किनारे का कचरा पट्टी पेड़ लता सब कुछ पहले पहले उसके अलग अलग लेयर में आ रहा है। और सबसे ऊंचा जो लेयर, अरे भयंकर, क्या आवाज आ रहा था, आवाज आ रहा था जैसे गंगा जी यहाँ चल रहे तो गांव में मकान सब हिल रहे थे, भूकंप आया था। और टीन सब, टीन का मकान धड़ 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 हो रहा था, ऐसा भयंकर रूप था गंगा। उस तरफ जो दिख रहा है ना मैदान, वो सारा पानी भर गया था। और कितने फोर्स में जाता है वो। मैं भागा, देखा जब वहां से, अरे भागो, और पैर फिसल गया था मेरा, वो पत्थर से के ऊपर से पैर फिसल गया था। मैं अगर पैर को देखता तो गया था। वो चोट चाट कुछ लगा, मैं देखा ही नहीं, सीधा ऊपर वो किनारे जा कर के मैं दौड़ते दौड़ते फिर इतना जल्दी बढ़ गया लेवल, मेरे पानी छू लिया था मेरा पैर। गंगा जी बोली, बेटा बेटा तेरा पैर धो देता हूँ, तेरा मकान को ले लूँगा, गुस्सा नहीं करना। हे भगवान। मैं जैसे पहुँचा वो रोड के ऊपर, पानी रोड के नीचे तक आ गया था। अरे क्या रूप देखना यार, वो तो जो देखा वही जानता है प्रलय कैसा होता है। बाहर से देखा था, अंदर से नहीं। हरि ओम, हरि जय गुरुदेव। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सद्गुरु भगवान की जय, सच्चिदानंद भगवान की जय, शब्द ब्रह्म की जय, सरस्वती महारानी की जय, जोग वशिष्ठ जी भगवान की जय। हरि ओम।